This is the most needed passage for this generation. It's Isaiah chapter 55. Isaiah 55, verses 8 and 9. Listen to what God says. He says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." I think this is so big for this generation, for us in this room, for the church to understand today that God says His thoughts are not the same as our thoughts. We live in a time when everyone wants to get on Twitter and share their thoughts because they believe their opinions and their way of thinking is so profound. And everyone believes they have something to say. Many of you maybe even came here today going, "Man, I wish I could get on that stage because I have some things to say." Everyone has this Facebook page where they put their thoughts. Everyone's starting some sort of blog where they share their thoughts. And we'll go to different places and we'll listen to people share their thoughts. And they really believe in what they're teaching. And so much of today's theology, I've read these books where people are questioning doctrines that we've held for centuries. And the way they argue for so many of these things is, look, I would never do this, so why would God do it? I would never think. They use their own thinking and own reasoning, and yet God makes it so clear. He goes, you know what? Your thoughts, they're not the same as mine. In fact, the Bible says in that verse, as high as the heavens. Okay, the heavens, he's talking about the stars. He's talking about everything you see up there. So even the sun, which is relatively close to us compared to the other stars and planets out there, the sun is 93 million miles away right now. I don't know what kilometers that is, but a lot more than that. Okay, so 93 million miles away is this ball of fire. So imagine how far away that is from us. And God says, the way that I think, my thoughts, that's how much higher my thoughts are than yours. That's why this book is so important and so precious to me. Because when I get alone in the morning, I don't sit there and just think out of my own mind or my own heart or my own desires. Why would I do that? God says, my thoughts are infinitely beyond yours, and my ways are not your ways. We need to humble ourselves. I know this is a generation that has a real struggle with the idea of truth because they believe that they can find their version of truth, and they believe their own thoughts, and they value their own thoughts. And that's why I love that passage. God reminds me that the next time someone goes, hey, you want to know what I think? I just go, not really. I mean, who cares? Who cares what you think? Who cares what I think? Who cares what I feel? Who cares what I think is right? I'm a human being that's existed for 50 years. And God says his thoughts are eternal and immeasurably greater than mine. And it's time for us to stop listening to all the opinions and even valuing speakers like me and just saying, you know what, just open the word to me. Just open this book. There's a passage in Ecclesiastes that I also love. Ecclesiastes chapter 5 is such a good reminder to me. He says this, Ecclesiastes 5, verse 1. Guard your steps when you go to the house of God. To draw near to listen is better than to offer the sacrifice of fools, for they do not know that they are doing evil. Do not be rash with your mouth, nor let your heart be hasty to utter a word before God. For God is in heaven, and you are on earth. Therefore, let your words be few. He says, let's be careful when we come into the sanctuary of God. When we come into the presence of God, we live in a time when everyone is quick to speak. And like that verse says, they offer the sacrifice of fools. They just start talking because they don't know that they are doing evil. Man, I take that passage seriously because I go, God, I don't want to walk on that stage and just start talking. Because I may be saying things that you don't want me to say. That's why I had you pray for me. Because I don't want to lead you in any direction that is wrong. I don't want to, because Francis has desires. Like, I want you to like me. That's just my human nature. I want to be liked. I want to be accepted. I want to be popular. And so then I may say things to get a reaction that is favorable towards me. And that's a scary thought, that I would come on a stage and draw attention to myself. And God says, when you get up there, be careful with your mouth. Guard your lips. You may start talking and not even realizing that you're doing something evil. God is in heaven, and his thoughts are as high as the heavens are above the earth. That's how much higher his thoughts are than your thoughts.